We're going to take a look at solving and graphing inequalities, and this is going to be very, very similar to your equations. In fact, when you see that you're working with an inequality, it just means you have a greater than or a less than sign rather than an equation that has an equal sign. Other than that, most of the things are going to be the same. If you take a look at this very simple equation and the steps you would use to solve it, you use the exact same steps to solve the inequality. But at the end, instead of saying the answer is 5, you get x is less than 5, which means any number less than 5 is an answer or a solution to that equation. So we graph that we show that by putting it on a number line and shading any number less than 5. So any number less than 5, x less than 5, makes that inequality true. And to show you, I took the number 3, which is less than 5. It's in the shaded region or the solution region. And when I plug it into the original inequality, I end up by simplifying with 5 is less than 11, which is a true statement. That means x equals 3 is a solution. If I plug in an 8, we know 8 is not less than 5. 8 is not in the shaded solution region, and when I plug it into the inequality, I end up with 20 is less than 11, and we know that's not true, it's false. So that tells us that x equals 8 is not a solution to the inequality. It's important to remember that the steps I use to solve this inequality are exactly the same as the steps I use to solve this equation. It's just that my answer gives me a whole set of numbers rather than one exact and only one number. I'll show you two more quick examples to point out a couple other things. So here's a simple inequality. We call it an inequality because an equation would have an equal sign. We go through the steps to get x by itself, and our answer is x is greater than 3. That means any number larger than 3 is a solution to that inequality. And I find 3 on the number line, and I shade all the numbers greater than 3. I can do it with this squiggly or this arrow, but now any number in this region is a solution to that inequality. You should be careful to know though that 3 is not a solution to that inequality. The number has to be bigger than 3. The problem right next to it is almost identical, except if you look at that inequality, now it says greater than or equal to 5. So this one now, when I get to my final answer, would see x is greater than or equal to 3. Anytime I have that line underneath the inequality sign, that means or equal to, so that means we would include the 3. So that 3 is included. That means that 3 would be part of the solution, and any number greater, that 3 is not included because it didn't have the little inclusion or equal sign in there. That's it.